About it, it's gotta be boom, boom, boom. Do you have better taste in women or food? Come on, come on.
No, again.
No, you
that was too fast for me.
No,
that was too fast for me.
You see him stalling, right? You see that. That should have been quick. And you see you turning red like, why is it taking you so long?
That was too fast for me.
Was it? Was it? Was it?
Do it again.
Do you have better taste in food or do you have better taste in women? This is just this is cheating now.
Food.
Really?
You can't say that!
All right, so I'm still here in Guerneville at Dawn Ranch. I am upstairs at the lodge, and I am so grateful that I am joined by two executive chefs. I'll let them introduce themselves in a few minutes. But they did agree to do this only if they could put me to work. So they're like, their time is worth money. So they're like, I gotta do something. So I'm like, look, the last time I was in a kitchen, I ended up cutting my finger. I'm sure you guys remember that episode. After this happened, I didn't know that a knife was sharp. After this happened. No cutting, no blood this time. We're not shedding. So now we're gonna be snapping peas. We'll see who ends up doing the most, and we're gonna weigh them afterwards. But until then, I would love to introduce my two new friends, executive chefs, and I will let them introduce themselves. Who wants to start?
So I'm Juliana, I'm from Brazil originally. Actually, my dad is from Pittsburgh and my mom is from the north of Brazil. I grew up in Brazil my entire life. I started cooking kind of late. I got out of school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Went to France to do voluntary work, and that's when I kind of discovered a little bit that I liked cooking. I always loved eating.
Okay.
But then I came back to Brazil and then went to culinary school, and from there on searching for like good restaurants and good people to learn from. I come from a very, very small town, like the middle of nowhere. It's like nature all around. But then went to live in São Paulo and Rio, worked in Rio with Rafa Costa Silva. Now he was opening at the time. Now he has 2 stars, really good restaurant in person. And then made my way to Spain, into Mugaritz. For who's not familiar to Mugaritz, Mugaritz was like one of the best restaurants in the world for the 50 best.
I remember.
In the top 10, yeah, for like 10 years. And then they have 2 stars also. That was a very life-changing experience. After that, I was there for 1.5 years, creativity period, so we stay a little bit more. All of that is stage, so for free. And then made my way to Napa, actually before this time, this was 7 years ago, to work with Christopher Costo at the restaurant Meadowood. 3 stars, really good restaurant as well, for 1 year. And then was called back to Mugaritz to work at as a hired person that time.
So you pick up the miles, those airline miles.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. And we'll get into how you two met. But you, sir?
So I'm Ignacio Zuzulich. I'm from Altagracia. That's a small town from Argentina, in the center of Argentina. I grew up in my family had restaurants, so I grew up like in the family business. I always say that me and my brother, my parents have us because they wanted free labor to work in the restaurant. So, you know, the first 20 years of our lives, we were working. And so I grew up inside the restaurants, like with chefs, working with us, living almost with us. So kitchen was always something that I loved. I never said that until I grew up, because you never want that. And then I, like little by little, in the weekends, started working weekends. And then when I was 18, I know it that I want that, and I want to go outside the country to learn. In that time, when I got 18, I was going to Mugaritz, but in that time, the economy in Spain was bad, so it was difficult to get there. So I went to Brazil, I went to La Salle, so we met there. And then I continued my way going to France, working in France in a Michel Bras, very nice restaurant. And then we re-met there in Mugaritz.
1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. Then we came to restaurant Meadowood. In that time, I had no papers, so I worked in a supermarket. I work in
Okay.
I work in a supermarket.
You're a little overqualified for that, right? Just a little,
Yeah.
okay, just a little, okay.
But it was
Okay.
a super nice experience. Like for me, it was a super nice experience. Like I was working in a supermarket, in a kitchen of a supermarket, and was going from the 3 stars going to the supermarket, and it was a very nice experience for me. We got back to Middle East, go back to Argentina, to in the family restaurants, and then we got here. So here we are.
Perfect. We'll get more into your story, but first I want you guys to demonstrate the correct way. Since you guys are putting me to work, we have to demonstrate the best way to snap these peas. So
Yeah.
you guys, now I see you're cheated over there
Yeah, he's
already.
already
Okay,
getting the
yeah.
head.
I got the head.
Let's hold this
take
up.
that
Now you
out.
see, chef, all right, he's cheated, right? It's like, okay, so can you demonstrate, both of you, one of you, demonstrate the correct way so I can literally kick both of your asses when I do this? But can you,
You show your way, I show my way.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
two different ways. Okay.
I don't even know if I have a way.
Okay.
So you crack it open, first
Okay.
thing, and then you want to just make a little bit of a space for your fingers so you can, like, squeeze them out.
Okay.
And then trash.
Okay.
I have the
So
same way.
then,
You have the same way?
Yeah.
No, don't
you
copy.
sure? Okay. All right. So then, all right. So I squeeze it.
Yeah.
All these.
Oh, those are very baby. If they're so small, you can just goodbye.
Okay.
So you got to be lucky also because you may not have the good ones here. I
Yeah,
was
so
like,
you guys rigged this again. So he already cheated by putting it. Then you gave me the baby piece. What you're saying? So I have no chance of winning this, right?
you never know.
Okay. So this is like garbage here,
Yeah.
and then peas here.
And peas
okay.
there,
Perfect. All right. Now we can get started, even though someone has a head start.
I'm,
We're gonna, like, take,
I'm
like,
going to, so
We're gonna take like
I'm
3
faster.
pounds off of yours. 'Cause I feel like I'm getting. Your husband's a cheater.
I know.
Okay. All right. I see this. All right. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
So, I'm going to tell you guys straight up. When I first was looking into coming to Dawn Ranch and I was looking to see who the chef was at the lodge, I saw that you guys had 2 executive chefs, and that's the first time I had ever seen that. And I didn't realize that you guys were actually just like you're partners in business, but you're also partners in life. So,
Yeah.
I guess my first question is, right? And I feel like I don't want to start like a marriage counseling session, but
Therapy.
but right, therapy, right? But how do you guys, in all seriousness, like how do you manage working together, but also like you guys are literally together, right? So like how do you balance that?
I think works thanks for me because I'm the more I'm the more patient.
I just tell him what to do. He does it. And it works.
That works. You sure? I can like get in between you, like I can get in the middle.
We don't have knives. At least we don't
Yeah,
have
thank
knives.
God. I feel like a pea is gonna come like in my direction, but no, I get it. I get it. Oof.
No,
So,
but
okay.
like really?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I think during the years, like, it's hard because like everyone has their way to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You always think like your way is the best. And not even the best, like it works better for you. And then he has his ways, I have my ways. I feel that we want to get to the same place. So that what makes sense for us. Like I have my trail and he has his.
Mm-hmm.
And we've learned sharing the same spaces in service and with the team, I think leaving the space for the other and making, just giving the opportunity for once is like how you decide this is how it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Today you, tomorrow me. And if we don't agree, we talk about it later. But respecting, not trying to like just impose your own ways all the time. And understanding that there's no right way actually. In the end, like everything works. You just want to make it work because of our objective is the same. I think that's like bigger than any like kind of chichi.
Yeah. Also at the same time, I think like everybody of us, we know that you're very good for a few things, and also there's another things that you always have to get better. And I think there's a way on us that even though like you start knowing what are your things that you're not very good, and then you have a person on your side that is very good doing that things also. So I think we balance in that way, and also we learn. It's not like okay, we're perfect. We never fight. We never discuss, or we never think nothing different.
You're laughing because that's not true, or because you went for the chuckle pretty quickly.
No,
so.
it's true.
Okay,
No,
all
it's true.
right, okay.
We get along pretty well.
No,
Also.
but also yes, we fight. We think like things different, but at the same time, it's different if you think different about something, but at the end, it's the best for the place. So we always think at what's the best for the place. So that's the thing at the end. Like probably she will have their ways and I will have my ways. But the idea is always like, okay, my ways, your ways. Put it in the middle and go by the middle way. And
like even in service, like today, like we'll do, okay, if I'm expediting today, like I'll take the decisions. I'll do whatever I think is best for today. And then in the end, if you don't think it's the best, then we'll talk about it. Same thing with him. If he's expediting, I'm cooking, or I'm plating, I'm helping, then you take the decisions. And it's not like, okay, let's do it like this. No, I think it's better like this. And we're like back and forth. And then everybody's like, okay, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah, we got two bosses.
Yeah,
like who,
what?
yeah, right?
Oh my God, who we're listening to? Yeah, no.
Which is you, right? Tell me.
In the end.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So you two, take me back to the beginning, right? Like everyone's food journey is different. Like, where does your passion for food come from? I'm always so fascinated about people's food and wine journeys. Some people, you know, they were in, you know, with their grandparents, they were cooking with them or baking with them, or they were really into, you know, agriculture, and like that's how they end up loving wine. So I'm just really curious, like, what's the first food memory that you both remember separately, obviously?
I think pasta with tomato sauce. I'm like, I don't know. No, my parents, they were living in Brazil when I was born, me and my sister. I have a sister, a younger sister, Luisa. And I remember they wanted to find a place where they could grow their own stuff. So we were traveling for 6 months and visiting places that they could like be in a farm and grow their food and like live like in the countryside. They wanted that kind of style of life. So I grew up in this farm with most of what we had at home to eat was like from the garden. So I think without knowing it, I had this relation with nature and with produce and with the kitchen. And my mom always cooked. My dad did like 3 things, like guacamole, tuna salad, and pasta and tomato sauce.
Oh shit,
but
I lost one. I'm listening.
good, you can throw them all over there.
No, I gotta catch up with the shooter.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, you see, she's getting competitive. I'm listening. I can't afford to get behind. Keep talking.
So I think without knowing, like my relation with food started really early. I always liked eating a lot, like just trying stuff. And I don't remember like falling in love with the kitchen or anything. I think it was something that it was built up inside me little by little. But I remember after I got out of school and I was in France, I was like, okay, this is like the thing I most enjoy. One of the things that I most enjoy when I'm doing. So I was like, okay, let's try this. And now I'm here 10 years later.
Do that. So when was like the conscious decision, right? Where you're like, okay, this is going to be my career, right? Or, you know, I'm going to go to culinary school. Was it 12? Was it 14? Was it 24? Like when you're like, okay, this is it. I'm doing this with my life.
I think 21.
This is before culinary school?
That's before culinary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 21, I decided to go to culinary school.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a couple of years after high school.
Do that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Ignacio, I heard someone earlier calling you, is it Nacho?
Nacho. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
May I call you Nacho?
Yes.
Have I earned that
course.
right yet? Have I snapped enough peas to call you Nacho?
Yeah.
Okay. So Nacho, like you, same thing, man. Like, what's that first food experience that you can remember? And like, when did you make the conscious decision, like, this is it for me, culinary?
So, I would say I have so many memories of asados in Argentina, like barbecues, Argentinian barbecues. I think like I love to eat. I love to eat something. I think I'm more into culinary, like kitchens. It's more about because I like to eat different things that I never tried. Like I think that's the most important, because it's not the same that you like to eat, that you like to work in the kitchen. That it's very different. But I think I'm into this because I love to eat. I love to try new things. I love food. I love food really. So I think in my memory, I would say probably I have my mom doing zucchinis with cheese. And we're not the best. My grandmother she was a chef also.
Okay.
His dad is a chef.
Okay. You see, you're burying the lead, man. You should have just started with dad's a chef, and then went from there.
He's not only just a chef, he's like a very famous chef back home.
You see?
In Córdoba, yeah.
Bearing the lead, man.
They just got best restaurant in Córdoba like last
Really?
week.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
It
So-
is, yeah.
So wife and hype woman as well for you, I see. Okay, that works. Okay, all right, we'll go with that. But no, I hear you with, because sometimes when your parents do stuff, I feel like there's like two extremes. Either I absolutely want to do it, or I want no part of it. And it seems like I'm not to put words in your mouth, right? But if your father and family members were doing it, like, did you feel like it's kind of connecting with them in some way?
Yes, the connecting with, yes. My dad, like, even though, like, you have the stages of my dad. My dad is a chef, so like more on the old school chef. He is a person that he likes the way how he like and how to be in that way, and is that the way? There's not another way. But-
It's the same.
Do you?
And obviously, I don't get some of that. Of course, I grew up with that.
Okay.
But you can see now my dad, like, getting older. He will open on a lot of stuff. But yeah, I learned cooking with him, and more like he will not. He's not the person who will come to you and say, okay, now to do this, you have to cut the onions like that. He will tell you, this is easy. You have to do this, and will cook by himself the things, like more in that way. But yeah, I share with him a lot of moments in the kitchen. The first person that kicked me out from the kitchen was him. so yeah.
Tell me, like, if you don't mind sharing, like, what was the conversation like when you told him, like, hey, it's actually like what I want to do with my career, and I'm going to culinary school? Was it positive? Was it basically, stoic and like, yeah, we'll see what you do? Like, what was that conversation like?
He told me, I will never pay for a school for you. You go first, study something else.
Yeah.
You want to work in the kitchen? You come and work in the kitchen here. But I will never pay for a school for you.
Wow.
For a cooking school.
Yeah.
So I started studying business. So I studied like for a year, and working at the same time at the kitchens. And then I said, I will burn out. If I go like this, I will burn out. So then I decided, I will work in the kitchen. I will not go to culinary. In Argentina, there's no, like in Córdoba, you don't have like a great culinary schools. But then also like culinary schools, like I think if you have no idea of what's a knife, what's an onion, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great places. But if you grew up in a restaurant and you can work learning, you don't need it. I think that's the truth. So yeah, the conversation was, I will not pay for a school for you.
So you end up doing it for yourself, and clearly you graduated. And what was that moment like when you're showing him your diploma, or you're like, yeah, I did this?
No, I never went to school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
All
I never.
Okay, so you
yeah.
did. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you said you did. My
yeah,
bad.
I never went. I went to I studied business for a year, and then I said I will stay in kitchens. I don't want to study.
And do that. All right. So fast forward for me, you guys. How did you guys meet, and what was that interaction like? Like who wanted who first, right? Like it's now not to put words in your mouth, John, but did you see the Argentinian from across the room, and you're like, oh, like we work together, like talk to me about that. Someone's turning red.
Okay, no,
There we go.
I'll tell part of the story. I can tell my part of the story. So at the time, I had just moved to Rio, and I was working at this restaurant called Roberta Sudbrac. She was the first person to do tasting menus, actually, in Brazil. Female chef, was really, really famous at the time. Really great restaurant to work at. But then I saw that this guy was coming back from Spain. He was a Brazilian guy, Rafa. He was opening La Salle, and I knew that because of his background, it was going to be a really good place. So I knocked on his door like a couple of times because I wanted to work there. They had just opened like 4 months, just really in the beginning. And I got there, so I got the job, and this guy was already there. Yeah.
Okay, so first
First
impressions when you saw him. Come on, be honest.
He was already cute back then.
Oh.
But at the time, I was engaged. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, now the drama's coming. All right, this is great. This is great TV.
So of course.
Tell me. So then what
I
happened?
hope he never sees this
He's
interview
gonna see
ever.
it. He's gonna see it.
But I was engaged, and so not even thinking about anything.
Okay.
I was just there because I really wanted to learn with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the pastry station at the time, which was where everybody started.
Okay.
Never liked pastries, never wanted to do them, and I kind of like walked into that world a lot, but still am much more of like a savory cook, I would say. But at the time, I was doing ice creams, and I had to blend the ice creams every day for service.
Okay.
And this guy was doing the bread.
Okay.
So we were sharing like the same production kitchen at the same time, right before service. And I was blending the ice cream, he was cutting the bread, and he would give me all the little parts of the bread that didn't go for service so I could eat them, because I was like munching on the bread all the time.
Okay, Joe, I gotta interrupt you because I don't want to wait for this. We gotta interrupt. So, at this point in the story, when you first saw her, Nacho, like, what you were just like, oh, who's that? Was that in your mind, like?
Of
hey.
course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, of course. And then when she told you she was engaged, it's just like, oh, great. Like, did you find out pretty soon, or?
No.
Oh, you never
going.
asked.
I keep going.
Oh, okay.
I kept going.
Get yours. So then the little pieces of bread, was that your like, was it basically breadcrumbs? I'm gonna be really corny. Was that breadcrumbs to like, hey, I'm available? Was that you flirting with her, or were you literally just being nice?
Not flirting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I knew what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
it.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just had to hear that.
No,
Like,
no, no.
I get your perspective. What was his?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
my perspective.
So you were locked in
view.
from day one.
So I was 19 years old in that time.
And-
Like, I was
early age.
and I was in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro,
Okay.
World Cup in that moment, in that year, in Rio.
World Cup.
So I was working,
I
and she.
understand. I already know where this is going. Go ahead.
So Argentinian in Brazil in that time, in 19 years old, you want to go on parties, you want to like everything.
And believe me,
And then
I get it.
obviously in Brazil you have beautiful people, like
Yeah.
people in Brazil, like
Yeah.
they're beautiful.
As someone that's been and also been there as a young adult, I completely understand.
Yeah. So when I saw Juliana, I said, "Whoa, who is that person?" I will start talking to her. Like I will not lose my time. And so yeah, I
You're
started.
getting good, man. You're going.
And so I said, okay, how we do it? Because in that time, I speak some Portuguese, but not perfect Portuguese.
Yeah. Do you speak any Spanish, or did you at that point?
Not at that point.
Okay.
I
gotcha.
only learned like the following year when I went to Spain.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
no Spanish at all at that
Okay.
point. Yeah.
So I know it that, okay, I had like some moments that I can talk to her and know it, because then in service there was nobody's talking, like you're working,
Yeah,
like
one
like
of those places.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. No, but it was a very fun place, but you had to be like very focused on what you're doing, because if not, you will be doing wrong. And then it was an open kitchen, and you had people sitting down inside the kitchen, so you have to be like very, very focused on what you. So in service, there were no moments to talk about it. So I know it that at the time that I had to cut the bread, she will be doing the ice cream. So I know it that was the
Smart
moment.
man.
It was the moment of the day.
Smart man. You found your opening. You're like, this is the only chance I got, so I'm going to do this.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So I get that. So then fast forward and tell me how it works. So you guys, you're 19. I don't know how old you were at the time, but then literally, all good.
It's okay.
So then how did so you clearly were not engaged anymore, or you clearly were not married anymore. So just talk to me about the progression.
So fast forward. Obviously, his last day, he walks into the walk-in. I'm there. He tries to kiss me. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is not happening. I'm like, this guy's crazy.
As 19-year-olds
Yeah.
do? Yeah. Okay.
And then that was his last day. So he left. Actually, we did not get together at that point.
No, let's stop for a second. You said he tried to kiss me, but you
Yes.
didn't say if he succeeded or not.
He did not succeed. No.
That's it. No.
And
Okay.
then the following year, so he goes to Michel Brass in France.
Yeah.
He's there doing his stage. And I had just kind of arrived, so I finished my year in La Salle and wanted to go to Mugaritz to do my stage in Mugaritz. So 1 year after that, I go to Mugaritz. I get the stage. And then we kind of like talked sometimes throughout the year, but not like super. Like I was doing my thing. He was doing his thing.
Were you stalking her on Instagram or Facebook to see
Not
where
really.
she was? No, not you. I'm talking.
No, like-
I'm looking right at him. Like, yeah. Did you start be like, oh, she's here?
Yeah. No. We talk like in middle of the year. We say, hey, how you doing? I'm going to Mugaritz. I said, I'm going too. So
sure
it's
you
like
were. Sure.
Yeah.
You sure you didn't say that ahead of time and be like, I'm gonna plan my. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. You tell your story.
Yeah, and then we met in Spain. Long story short, I get there a month before my fiance at the time. We're all living in the same house. Like the Sages all have like this big, enormous, beautiful Basque house where we live together and then we go work together. So we got there first because we were not from Europe, so we had to do all the paperwork and all that. Me, Nacho, and a couple of friends.
In that time, when we got there, I don't know, there's a restaurant in Oakland named Snail Bar.
Snail Bar.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
Andres
really.
was working there the year before of us. So he was part of the team that would receive us
And train us.
And Andres was living with us in the same house, so we know one each other from there.
Awkward.
So we got to this big house, and was probably the third or fourth day that we've been there. Imagine 30 people living in the same house, a giant house.
Yeah.
And that day we had off. I don't know how.
Semana Santa was like a holiday.
Yeah, it was a holiday, but I don't know why. We did not start to work in that time.
No, we weren't working yet.
Yeah. So I remember Andres and somebody else that was there took some cards. We were like 15 people. We started playing a card game. Obviously, we were drinking. And then,
obviously.
so from that moment, after an hour, like 2 hours, everybody was naked and running around the giant house.
That's how it ended. Basically.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that the truth?
It is the truth.
Okay.
It is the truth.
Okay.
But yeah, so a resumed story was that the day before my fiance got there, we actually got together, and then the next day was like the worst day of my life because I'm like,
You had to tell him.
Very bad conscience situation.
I get it.
But
is
it
love.
didn't last a long time because after like a month, I was like, no, actually, and I was 7 years with this guy, so it wasn't anything, and I was like, no, this is actually what I want, and we started going out and dating, and this was 9 years ago.
So then, all right. So then, tell me, how do you end up winning you over? Because I mean, earlier you basically were like no to the kiss. What was it?
It wasn't in the first week. We were there for like a month.
Okay.
We were like hanging around, going out,
Yeah.
and doing fun stuff, and just hanging together.
And you're like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm always just so curious on stuff like that. No, good for you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So let's fast forward a little bit more. You guys get together, and just because you get together doesn't necessarily mean you want to work together, right? So when did you guys make that decision, like, hey, like we're going to be together in life and in work, and how did you come to that decision?
So when we finished the first year of stage,
Yeah.
I remember that they offered me to stay, to be hired in that time.
Yeah.
And then I say, hey, if you have one more space, you can hire Juliana also, because in that time, like we were like 6 people hired. Like of 40 people that we were in the kitchen, only 6 got hired.
Wow.
So you had to do very good things to got hired. But they had only one place. So they told me, okay, you want to stay? I said, reality, if you can make a space for Juliana, I would like to stay. But so like anyone will say yes.
Yeah.
So they say, hey, no, we don't have two spaces. Say, okay, let's. So in that moment we left because I thought we should keep going working together, because if not, like if you don't work together and you're working in the restaurants,
You
will
never
see
see each other.
Yeah,
I
we will
understand
see you.
now. I understand.
Like, we work
That makes sense.
14 hours per day, 6 days a week. So
Yeah.
then it's like you don't have a relationship almost. So then I decided to don't stay, and we went to Merowith in that time. We came here to Napa.
Okay, so you came. All right, so let's stop right there. So why America, and then of all places, again, I live here too. So right, so like why Napa? Like
So
was it like
no,
a
it was
spin?
so much fun.
Really, was it spin the globe and like your finger just stopped on California?
So
like seriously.
the other day I went to our emails, like all emails.
Yeah.
And I had emails in that time with.
Was the F&B director from Meadowwood?
No, Kyle.
No, from Kyle from Single Threads.
Really?
Yeah, they were opening.
They were opening.
Yeah.
And we were like, we got to go to this place because we had
Kyle.
research
Yeah.
chef that worked with us, like my mentor,
Yeah.
Jade, and she knew these people that they had a farm. She has,
The Danny Lassa,
it was Dani Lassa,
Yeah.
yeah, and Jade, but Jade was the one that told me about this place.
the Merriwood. Yeah.
And Meadowwood, yeah. And then they said, yeah, we can like give you guys the email. Why don't you contact them? And we were like looking into it, and we said, oh wow, this looks like an amazing place to work. And then we tried to get here to work at Single Thread before Single Thread was Single Thread. It was like really
Which is
starting.
not long, because I mean, basically within a year he had freaking 3 Michelin. I mean, I think he had 2, and then a year later, like a 3.
What's
Which he's
in
told.
the first year? In the first,
Yeah.
they got open like 3 months.
Yeah,
before.
and they got 2, which I mean, it's based on. I mean, he deserves it, right? It's based on his reputation, and the food is great. And then a year, like I clown him now when I see Kyle. Whenever I see you at the Michelin Star Awards, I always clown him. I'm like, you can't win anything else. He has 3 Michelin stars. He has the Green Star, and now he has like the the Michelin Keys. You can't win anything else, right? I'm just like, why are you here, right? But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
We thought to coming to Single Threads, and then because I had no documents to work in that moment, so we say, okay, let's. They say, hey, Juliana can work, but you can't work. I say, oh shit.
So like, I don't think I'm going.
So
there.
then
You're like, I'm not going.
we go to Merriwood, and they say yes. We made an interview inside the Mugarit's kitchen. Christopher said, "Okay, show me the kitchen. Where are you at?" Because we got inside the kitchen of Mugarit's, showing him, and said, "Okay, great. Okay, guys, you come to work, and then we'll see. Juliana, you can start, and Nacho, get here, and then we'll see how we do it."
Because we were getting married, so I said, "Oh, the paperwork is gonna be like in
I get
like
it.
going that direction."
Upcoming, and you guys are gonna do it. I get
Yeah.
it. On that, so you got here, and how long were you two like in Napa and like Meadowwood?
Like a year.
Okay, like a year. And what year was that?
That was before I burnt down. So
Oh, so then it was at 2020.
17.
2017.
Yeah.
17.
Okay, 17. All right. So
Yeah.
talk to me about. So after that, you came here, right?
After that, no, we got back to Mugarit's.
Oh.
Because after a year, and because I can't work in that, I worked for a time, and then I left, and I started working in a supermarket in Sant'Elina, in the center of Sant'Elina, and I was doing like menus every day for people, cooking every day, like cooking, and it was nice. But then I said to Juliana, "Hey, Juliana, I can't continue. Like, I stayed there for 4 months and said, like, it's okay, but I can't."
You can't do it anymore. Got you.
And then they call us back from Mugarit's and say, "Hey guys, we have two spaces
Do you
for
guys
this
wanna
year.
come back?"
You want to come back?" I say, "Of course."
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually work. You're like you're tired of the grocery store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, no doubt. So we went back hiring as the chef de partie, it's more like a sous chef position. We were like 4 sous chefs, something like that. So we started working back. So we went back to Spain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you talk about bragging, and then obviously he's not going to brag about himself now. He brags about himself like every day of his life, but now no. But he obviously became head chef at Mugarit's a year after. And then we worked there for like 2 more years. So we worked there for 3 years.
And then pandemic.
It happened, and then
And we went back to Argentina. We went to Argentina.
okay. And that was what year?
That was 2021.
Yeah.
2021.
Now, before we get into how you got here, you talked about bragging. So I'm going to ask you, Nacho, a direct. You know what's coming. Direct question. You have to answer like quickly. Like do not stutter. Do not think about it. It's just got to be boom, boom, boom. Do you have better taste in women or food? Come on, come on.
No, again.
No,
That was too fast for me.
No,
That was too fast for me.
You see him stalling, right? You see that. That should have been quick. And you see you turning red like, why is it taking you so long?
That was too fast for me.
Was it? Was it? Was it?
Do it again.
Do you have better taste in food or do you have better taste in women? This is just this is cheating now.
Food.
Really?
Can't say that. I don't think he understood. So I'm like,
Down. Women.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Nice save. We're gonna say language barrier. I don't believe that for a second. You understood what I was saying. You see this, right?
okay.
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 At this point, you guys you had been in Napa and then you went back to, Spain and then Argentina. Did you even know where the hell Guerneville was before you got here?
No.
Okay. You guys knew, I'm sure you at least knew where Sonoma County was, right?
Yes.
All right, but Guerneville.
So the first time that they called us.
So they called you, so that's the approach? You didn't look for jobs in Northern California like they found?
No, so they worked, the Bristol worked with Fernando Troca, that he's a very known chef in Argentina.
Yeah.
He's a friend of my dad and some friends of us. Mm-hmm. And he called and said, hey guys, I have these people are having this project in California. You wanna go and take care of the restaurant and everything? We say, of course, yes. We were in Argentina after 2 years, and economy in Argentina was tough. We were working with our families, it's a new super nice project and everything. But we want to get outside Argentina a bit, and they say, yes, this is Sonoma, and that time we thought that was Sonoma town.
Oh, not Sonoma. Yeah.
Yeah, so we said Sonoma
people
town.
use it interchangeably sometimes. They don't do Sonoma. They just say Sonoma for the county.
Yeah,
I get it.
And we
I do
say,
it too.
okay, beautiful. Sonoma, we like Sonoma. It's closer to Napa, closer to San Francisco. Beautiful.
Yeah.
We say yes. Yeah, we'll be there in May 12th. We will be there.
Like, let's Google this again.
Then we say Sonoma, no? Yeah, it was Sonoma. But then we start looking, and it was Guerneville, Sonoma Valley.
Okay, so let's all look at the camera. We're gonna say it in 3 different languages. I'm gonna literally say it first in please. Portuguese and Spanish, you ready? Where the fuck is Guerneville?
Que porra e onde tá Guerneville?
¿Dónde mierda está Argentina? ¿Dónde mierda está Guerneville?
Someone told me what the hell is that? I had no idea when I first got here that it was in Sonoma County. It's just not, it's not talked about a lot.
No.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue with the story. That basically besides that part, were you guys looking up where is this place?
Yeah, we said, where is this place? Where we are going? So I put, in Google Maps, the street view, and we saw it was 4 streets, the main street. I said, wow, where we are going?
Middle of nowhere.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Literally.
Yeah.
But then when we got here, we saw the beautifulness
It's so beautiful,
of the
yeah.
river, of the trees. And Juliana also we don't like to live in big cities. So being closer to San Francisco, an hour from here, is
great.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's great. And being every time that we got outside to have a family meal, we got outside. We sat there. You see all the trees, all the sky, and say, wow, this is beautiful. Really, you're in a beautiful place. Yeah. So.
What is this?
Sorry,
Who's
you
cheating?
didn't see that.
Oh my
sorry.
God.
I'm sorry. What?
Okay.
If Nacho can cheat, I can't cheat? Okay.
I don't even have more space for trash.
Why are you going so fast? Oh
Well,
my God.
they say that
Okay.
men can't do 2 things at the same time.
Oh! Are you lashing out at me?
I shouldn't say this before we
No, it's
actually
okay. Are
wait.
you lashing out at me because literally I asked Nacho if he had better tasting food and
You
women,
see?
and now you're gonna blame me for this? He answered that way. It wasn't me. Okay, it's all right. No. So you guys came to Guerneville. So what were your first impressions of Dawn Ranch? Who'd you meet with? Kind of what are your thoughts?
It was a adventure. It was a very intense challenge. It was maybe one of we've opened restaurants before in Argentina. We reopened also another place. So this was probably the toughest of our career experience.
Tell me more. Why is it tough? Because
we got here 2 weeks before we opened the place, so that was really hard. Getting to know people, getting to know the kitchen, just getting here The team was here. We didn't know the team. We didn't know the place. We didn't know who to call to get, carrots in. It's a big place. There's demands from the resort and all that, new stuff that we were learning. There was a transitioning team that wasn't easy until we got in, and you actually find people that relate, that actually want to do the same thing that you're doing. There was a lot of changes. So it was probably one of the hardest places that I think we ever opened in our lives. Yeah.
I'm always confident about our skills and what things we can do. And I said to Juliana, hey, Juliana, let's go there. We're ready to open a restaurant. We are open. We are ready to do it. And when we got here and we made all the mistakes that we made and see all the laws in California, all the everything, how difficult it is bring people here to Guerneville, people with skills, opening a restaurant, not having a team, was really difficult. But then at the end, with the time, it got better always with who you're working. At the end, in that time when we opened, Rafa, there was a friend who worked with us in Mugarit for 2 or 3 years. He was working at Napa, and we say, hey, Rafa, please come help us, because if not, we will die here.
Yeah. And he did.
He did. He came the first time. I don't know.
He saved us. He was amazing.
He saved our life in that moment.
And he had this bike, he had this motorcycle. He would come and work here and then go back to San Helena at night sometimes no,
That's
almost
a drive.
every night. Every day.
You guys, I'm sure if you didn't know then, I know you know now, sometimes crossing from Napa to Sonoma, that's a hard drive. It's a hard drive.
It is.
That's a hard drive.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of direct routes. Okay.
Yeah.
But when you look back to that, and now you see that Alexandra is with us, Genaro is with us, Chelsea in events is with us, Ray also in banquet with us, you say, wow, when you look back 2 years ago, say, obviously we always want more and more and more and getting better and getting better and getting better. But when you see back, say, wow, where we were in that moment. We were in a really, we were not made for success in that moment.
This was 2023, right?
Was 2023, yeah. May.
So you talked about bringing on staff, and I definitely want to talk about some of the staff, but I'm thinking that we should probably, because I'm, again, getting my ass kicked here, even though you cheated, but of course...
Juliana's going so far.
Juliana earned it. You cheated. But I'm thinking we could probably use some wine to help us move on a little faster.
Of course,
so?
yeah.
Oh,
I will make it better.
After
because Juliana will have one hand on the wine and one on the other one. So.
I hear you. One less hand to slap you with after that food. So
oh my God.